CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
The bags from this side of the road to this side of the road. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a rework, but it is what it is, and we'll get it done.
A wall of sandbags hold the line against floodwater as severe spring melt continues to saturate Minden Hills Township. Thank you for joining us. Haliburton County is just one part of our region under strain as high waters wash out roads and leak into homes and businesses. Minden Hills remains under a state of emergency because of the flooding at this hour. Today, Ontario's Minister of Emergency Preparedness and Response spoke to us about how the province is working to help municipalities endure the heavy rain and snow melt. CTV's Jack Morris was part of that conversation. He joins us live tonight from Barrie, going to share more on what the plan is that's put in place to help us. Jack.
Well, Sarah, much of Minden Hills Township remains underwater after persistent rainfall and a snow melt following a record-breaking winter. Many in the community fighting to protect their property from the rising water.
Sandbags line parts of the Gull River as it winds through Minden. But for some homes, it's too late. Water already at the doorstep.
There's still an awful lot of water above the town in the lakes that has to be passed through the town.
Water roaring through the dam at Minden Lake, just upriver from downtown Minden. Water up to and over the river's edge, closing the bridge over Bob Cajun Road and Loggers Crossing, cutting the small town in half.
The community has really come together. There's been the sandbagging efforts. Community's been available to come by and pick up sandbags in their area.
Ontario Minister of Emergency Preparedness and Response Jill Dunlop is on the ground today, touring, among other things, a 24-hour evacuation centre.
Some of the resources that we have supported has been through Salvation Army here at the evacuation centre and with Global Medic with the sandbagging efforts.
The province has given Minden 20,000 sandbags and 150 cots. Provincial emergency officials are on site, and so are crews from the Ontario Corps.
Within 3 hours, we had 400 people who said they'd be available to help out. So it's incredible. People really want to help.
The state of emergency, declared by the township last Tuesday, is expected to stay in place for 8 to 10 days.
We're going to do bridge inspections later this week, and that's the real thing, is what's been deposited on these lands, what wells may have been affected, whatever. So, we can only assess it once the water starts going down.
Then the difficult work of recovery begins. Something many communities in cottage country are looking to do quickly in the wake of these floods, not to miss out on much-needed tourism dollars.
Now, despite that tourism dependence, officials are advising any seasonal residents to postpone your trips up and wait for conditions to improve. Sarah.
All right, that's our Jack Morse reporting live for us tonight. Now, another community feeling the impact of this year's spring melt is the Muskoka region. CTV's Rob Cooper spoke with locals about their ongoing effort to protect both their homes and their businesses.
Sandbags continue to be placed along the Moon River in Bala. The water is running fast and heavy, and property owners are being encouraged to prepare for anything. Up Highway 11 in Gravenhurst, the high water on Lake Muskoka is coming up over the docks at the Muskoka Wharf. Massive blue cofferdams have been placed down in an attempt to stop the flow of water.
Water's pretty high. It's, I spent most of my life here. I've never seen it like this before. Really good. It keeps going and going and going.
In Bracebridge, the town still has 2 closed roads. River Road was slightly worse today than Friday. Other roads are still dealing with high water, and it could be some time before they're in the clear.
The road's been closed behind us here, so through traffic, of course, is stopped as well. It's a disruption for the town, sadly, but it's not uncommon.
Residents in Huntsville are also dealing with the unwanted water. Downtown property owners being encouraged to prepare for water levels to continue to rise.
Hoping for the best, hoping for the rest of spring to come after the flood.
The Home Hardware has placed sandbags next to its building. With a flooded out parking lot, no chances are being taken.
Be prepared should it seep up. We've seen it recede just a little bit overnight even, so I'm happy to see that.
Yeah. Several free sandbagging locations have been set up across the district. The Ministry of Natural Resources has issued a flood warning through Wednesday and says it's working with local municipalities as it keeps a close eye on water levels.
Now again, people in low-lying and flood-prone areas being reminded not to let their guard down just yet, as things could change and quickly. People being encouraged to avoid all these waterways until things improve. Rob Cooper, CTV News, next to the Bala Falls.
And now from flooding in the Muskoka region to communities south, where precautions are also being taken. Crews in Aurelia are continuing round-the-clock work to mitigate issues, focusing on the Cedar Island Road and Davie Drive area with volunteers assisting. The town of Bradford saying officials are monitoring water levels, and in Ramera Township, sandbags are available at multiple locations. In other news on this Monday, from life-saving emergencies to team-based medical training, the region's largest hospital is bringing learning to life with the opening of an innovative new center. CTV's Luke Samart has more.
Meet Hal, a mannequin that not only blinks, but he'll help frontline staff train for realistic scenarios. Hal, along with healthcare professionals, have a new place to get practical experience at Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre as they unveiled their new innovative learning centre.
Demonstrates our commitment to learners, providing spaces where learners can actually grow and receive feedback. Also for our ongoing, long-term staff, they can actually come to a space. You don't just invest when people arrive. Things change as people are in mid-career and they want to have an opportunity to learn those new things.
Within the new walls is what's called simulation care, where doctors and nurses can work through specific scenarios on Hal, as well as pediatric mannequins.
Who can simulate life-threatening emergencies. He puts up vital signs and allows learners to train on the simulator so that when they encounter one of these scenarios with a real patient, they've seen it before and they've managed it.
Not only encouraging learning, but nurses and doctors working collaboratively as a team.
When you run a scenario as a team, you can stop and say, hey, why are we doing it this way? Maybe we should do it a different way. You can have that conversation with all the professionals that are going to be involved and say, hey, you know what, maybe next time we run a code, there's a better way to do it, or there's a clearer way to communicate.
With RVH leadership believing the new learning center will be a key tool when recruiting future nurses and doctors.
When nurses and other health professionals come to RVH, they see this dedicated space. They know that education is going to be a long-term part of their career as they work here, which you don't get in every organization. So it's a really nice attraction for us.
The opening of the learning center is all part of RVH's plan to evolve into a science and teaching hospital. Next steps are to bring healthcare professionals on site to learn different specialties and skill sets. Luke Samard, CTV News, Barrie.
The squeeze at the pumps is easing a little bit. Gas prices dropped by more than 10 cents at most of our local gas stations. The drop comes as the temporary suspension of the federal fuel excise tax on gas and diesel takes effect. That's meant to last until Labor Day. Currently, the price for regular is sitting at about $1.63 a litre here in Barrie, and diesel is at $1.95. Taking a live look at our roads now at about 10 minutes past 6. This is along Highway 400 in Barrie by Essa Road. Some of the roadways still lightly saturated, but otherwise dry conditions, leaving way for traffic to flow smoothly. No major delays to report at this time. Now, most drivers, myself included, had sunglasses on as it was a bright day. Still light jacket weather, but people were out there enjoying it as much as they could. A closer look now at Lock 42 in Severn Township, a historic part of the Trent-Severn waterway that plays a big role in marine travel, but also offers a scenic view, making it a popular spot for visitors. We can see that sunshine glistening on the water, but are more rays of that vitamin D on the way. Well, I'll leave that to our Casey Colby, back from vacation, but yet still hiding. I hope you had a lovely time with your mom and family, Case. What are you up to there?
Oh, it was a lovely time, You could fit the whole family in here. Where am I, you say? What palatial place am I in? This is not Sarah Freemark's apartment, although it's very close, I might add. This is, of course, the Hitch House, and this is a $1.5 million RV beauty. There's so many of them here. And what are we doing here? Well, aside from me playing, we're having a good time, and we're going to be taking on some of the tough questions and tough answers and finding out some of the wonderful ways you can play here at the Hitch House and discover all kinds of possibilities to go a little RVing. And is it RV weather? It's always RV weather, we're told, all the time. And for a day like today, good travel day. Let's take a look right now. And this is a look at current conditions right now as far as Barrie goes, outside our beautiful Barrie studios. It is absolutely stunning, as we said, just a couple of degrees above the freezing mark. And oh, say, why don't we take a little look-see? Of course, First Weather brought to you by the GravelDrivewayGuide.com, your local gravel driveway expert. Why don't we take a little boo as to what the temperatures are around our region? And where are we going to start this evening? Well, I think we'll start in, let's take a look at Gravenhurst, where it's 1 degree right now in Gravenhurst. Sunny skies pretty much throughout our entire area. 3 degrees in Newmarket, and give us one more. Where are we going to go? How about Collingwood, 2 degrees? Beautiful any time of year, I might add, and certainly on a day like today, stunning indeed. Shall we take a look at the radar satellite images over the last little while? And we do see clearing skies. That is pretty much the way it is. Clearing skies, wide open roads, or so we hope anyway, when you're going to hit the open road. As mentioned, we're here at the Hitch House, and there's all kinds of wonderful possibilities. Coming up in just a few minutes' time, we'll be speaking to Tom Stote, the president of the Hitch House, and we're going to be taking on some very tough questions and finding out some extremely valuable answers before you hit the road and all the wonderful possibilities you can afford. All that coming up in a few minutes' time. Sarah, back to you.
Camping in style, dare I say glamping. Can't wait, Case. One man is facing charges after Barrie police closed a major road on Sunday to investigate. Let's take a look at the scene. This was along Essa Road between Gowan Street and Burton Avenue, where officers were called for an alleged assault. Reportedly, the two people connected to the incident know each other. Officers are continuing to work on the case, but at this point, no further information has been released. Meanwhile, a 6-year-old, a boy, has died and several others injured after a crash in Mulmer on Sunday afternoon. OPP responded to the collision at the intersection of County Road 17 and 19, just north of Orangeville. Investigators say a vehicle carrying 6 people and a pickup truck with a lone driver collided and multiple people were taken to hospital. The SIU is investigating after a man was sent to a trauma center following an interaction with police in Vaughan. York Regional Police say it happened in the area of Purcell Crescent near Drummond Drive and Keel Street at around 10 o'clock last night. It came following a welfare check where a motorcyclist fled the scene once police arrived but crashed a short distance away. The 42-year-old man on that motorcycle had serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The trial of 2 men accused of kidnapping in Bradford is underway. The accused are alleged to have beaten and held a man captive before he escaped. CTV's Mike Arcelidis reports, but a warning that some viewers may find the details in this story graphic in nature.
The complainant in a horrifying assault and kidnapping took the witness stand in the trial of Rasham Malawi of Innisfil and Taj Morrow of Toronto. Malawi and Morrow are accused of beating up and robbing the man inside a Bradford drug house 2.5 years ago before taking him to another location. The complainant told the court after being assaulted he had his Jeep taken away from him along with his wallet and phone. He later identified the accused in court. The complainant said the terrifying ordeal started when he made plans to meet up with a woman named Mandy to get high in November of 2023. The complainant told the court of his long-standing addiction to cocaine and struggles with anxiety and depression. The witness recalled showing up at a Bradford home to meet Mandy. Upon arriving, he said he was quickly confronted by 2 men telling him he wasn't allowed to be at the home. He testified the men cooled off and left the home when Mandy stepped in. The complainant told the court he left the home to buy alcohol for Mandy, and when he returned, he said 2 men rushed him and started assaulting him. A short while later, he remembered being drugged, taken to a second location nearby. The man said he was taken away in the back seat of another car and that his Jeep was driven by someone else. I was afraid, he told the court. He recalled being held against his will, being forced to take crack cocaine overnight. He testified seeing his captors had a gun, thinking to himself, how am I going to get out of here? Telling the court he waited for his captor to fall asleep and escape the home when he ran to a nearby business and called 911. He was taken to hospital in an ambulance. Police charged the accused with robbery, forcible confinement, uttering death threats, and kidnapping. Another man pleaded guilty and was sentenced earlier this year for his role in the alleged kidnapping. The 2-week trial is scheduled to continue tomorrow. Mike Arcelidis, CTV News, Barrie.
Just days after it was first reported, the province is now selling that private jet purchased for Premier Doug Ford. Following some backlash, the pre-owned 2016 Bombardier Challenger 650 jet came with a price tag of nearly $29 million. Ford is now acknowledging the criticism the decision received, saying it is not the right time for the government to spend money on this kind of purchase.
I heard loud and clear, because I'm the only person in the world that gives out a cell number. And I heard loud and clear from the people that this was not the time to purchase a plane. So I've directed the staff, provincial staff, to be in contact, which they are, with Bombardier, sell it immediately and at the same cost. We took possession last week. I immediately sent that message out to the media. I heard from the people, and I'm the premier that listens to the people. If they don't like something, I'm not too shy to change my mind and say, okay, this isn't the time.
Ford's office previously said the plane was intended to help with extensive travel, citing regular trips across the province and to the United States. A new modular bridge housing site is opening this week on Tiffin Street in Barrie. This 40-unit facility will welcome its first residents next week, with move-ins happening in phases. City staff and service providers offered a first look at the site today ahead of occupancy, as the project is being watched as a potential model for other communities.
They have their own unique rooms. They are housed with a single bed, a small desk area, and a closet and wardrobe. And each room is equipped with sort of a welcome basket with toiletries and products that they might need coming from unsheltered homelessness into a residential program.
Called the Bridge to Stability, the program will act as a pathway to recovery for those experiencing chronic homelessness to find shelter while also receiving support through the Heart Hub initiative. Metrolinx has announced enhanced transit safety measures. In addition to an increased presence of police officers, special constables and other frontline staff will now sport body-worn cameras. The transit agency says this comes ahead of the busy summer travel season, which includes a huge lineup of concerts in Toronto and major sporting events like the FIFA World Cup. Let's talk about the Barrie Colts. They're back in the conference finals. They eliminated the Ottawa 67s on Saturday night and are now getting ready to face the top team in the league. CTV's Mike Lang spoke with players and coaches ahead of Wednesday's series opener in Brantford.
As the Barrie Colts advance to the Eastern Conference Final in back-to-back seasons.
The Barrie Colts beat the 67s 4-1 in Saturday's Game 5 to capture the series, advancing to the Eastern Conference Final for the second straight year.
We shut them down and really disciplined, really structured. The guys played together. They did it for each other. It was a great way to end that series.
Cole Baudouin had 3 points and leads the OHL playoffs with 23. He and his line mates have been among the many offensive drivers for Barrie this spring.
I think that's one of my biggest leadership assets is kind of going out there and setting the tone for the rest of the team behind me.
We have a good chemistry throughout the whole season. I played with Kobo the whole year, and we pretty much know each other, where we are, and what we think.
Here's a steal by Griffin. Scores!
Last year, the Colts were swept by Oshawa in the conference final. This year, they're up against the league-leading Bradford Bulldogs, who have yet to lose a game in the postseason. The two teams split the season series.
A little bit of unfinished business. Obviously, we things didn't go our way last time, and it's a last year for a lot of this group. So we're definitely looking at this kind of like a last dance.
Aitchison will be leading the defensive charge against Brantford's stars that include Jake O'Brien and Caleb Malhotra.
Brantford's got a lot of good players, so does Barrie. It's going to be really fun for the fans. There's a bunch of players playing in this series who, if you want to go buy a ticket and watch them play next year, it's going to cost you a couple $100.
The Colts will practice at the Allendale Rec Center tomorrow as the Sadlin Arena ice gets prepared for the Barrie portion of the series. The team will then leave for Brantford Wednesday afternoon with Game 1 set for just after 7 Wednesday evening. Mike Lang, CTV News, Barrie.
The road to the Memorial Cup is brought to you by the Boots and Hearts Barn Burner Charity Hockey Game.
Still to come, buttery, flaky, and oh so good. This local tart festival rolled into our local mall and left no sweet tooth unsatisfied. Plus, badminton at any age. And just because this championship is wrapped up doesn't mean there isn't a chance for you to get in on the action. Stay with us. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
April 29th, 2 chefs, 1 epic showdown. The Peggy Hill team presents the Iron Chef at Tangle Creek. Great food that gives back. All in support of the Busby Center. Get your tickets now. Head to
First up in the weekend roundup, it was a celebration of one of Canada's most iconic desserts with the first known recipe originating right here in Barrie. The third annual Barrie Butter Tarts and More Market rolled into the Georgian Mall, inviting shoppers to sip, shop and enjoy Canadian-made delicious gooey tarts and other sweet treats.
We're holding Barrie near and dear to our hearts because it's home of the original butter tart recipe in 1903. So for us, it seemed like natural and fitting opportunity to be here in Barrie. There's so many unique flavors. There's pistachio behind me. There's espresso martini. There's maple whiskey. You name it, there's a butter tart for it.
We specialize in making butter tarts now, and we're kind of a butter tart purist. Our biggest sellers are plain and pecan. So we have lots of flavored butter tarts, but our regular ones really shine. Today we won best overall and best crust. Gives you a little validation that you're doing something right.
Butter tarts have since evolved, introducing all kinds of flavors. Some vendors say they sold more than 2,000 in a single day. We've been snacking on them throughout the day here in the studio. A score one, I think, took the cake for me. It was a busy weekend at Innisdale Secondary School where more than 60 badminton players from around the region took part in the Georgian Bay District Badminton Association Adult Championships.
We have approximately 60 participants that are participating in multiple different categories, so men's singles, women's singles, mixed, and then the doubles from men's and women's. A lot of these players come from badminton clubs all around the Georgian Bay district. This is a good way for them to kind of meet up and, in the spirit of competitiveness, try and play a bit of an interesting game of badminton.
It's a beautiful sport. I mean, it's a lot of cardio, a lot of hard work. I've played it since I was very young, so I love the game.
The organization is inviting more junior level players and women to join in on the fun for mixed doubles. Those interested can visit their local club or sign up for the next adult championship tournament. I would love to play mixed doubles. I used to be very good. I was 16 at the time, but I'd love to give it another shot. It was an afternoon of fast-paced hockey as players laced up in support of Stevenson Memorial Hospital Foundation's Because of You campaign.
Already intense enough as it is. I'm sure you did it the other way.
Teams consisted of members from the OPP, Stevenson Memorial Hospital, Fire Services, local councillors and staff from New Tecumseth, Essa and Agila Tossarantio townships. The friendly face-off raised more than $20,000 with the game coming down to the wire, closing out at a score of 11-10. Still to come here on CTV, this is Earth Week, and a daily dose of sunshine and fresh air might be just what the doctor ordered. More on new prescriptions, unlike anything we've seen before. But first, let's head back out to Case.
Oh, Sarah, yes. Enjoying a little herbal tea here at the Hitch House. That's right, this is where we are. And coming up in just a few minutes' time, we'll be talking about the affordability of RVing and some common sense questions and answers to help get you on the road. And our weather watcher artiste, well, have a look. Veronica says, here's a tough question. Where is it gonna snow tonight, Case? I'll have that answer for you coming up in just a moment. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And this week on the show, we're giving away tickets to the CLH Red Carpet Concert with William Prince.
And Bounce to the Bank continues.
Yes, so make sure you tune in Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 10 for your chance to win.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
this is going to be of friendly rivalry, a week of friendly rivalry here on CTV Barrie, because we are celebrating playoff spirit, whether it's the NBA, the OHL, the NHL. Keep donning those jerseys, snap those photos, and send them to us. Picture this at ctv.ca. Now, Casey Colby, you and I are both fans of burritos. And tonight, if you wear a jersey, a hockey jersey, to Chipotle Mexican restaurant, it's buy one, get one free. And I'm wondering if, even though it's a Stanley Cup playoff push, if you could get away with the Colts, and if you finally started putting cheese on your burrito. Folks, how do you have a burrito without cheese?
Oh, yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy. No, you have to have the vegan cheese. That's what you have to have. And absolutely, any jersey. I'm sure the Chipotle people would welcome anybody in with any jersey. Yeah, we'll see what kind of response that gets, and I'm sure it'll be colorful, that's for sure. Just like the forecast, I might add. And coming up in just a few minutes' time, we'll have some very interesting conversation. We're here at the Hitch House, of course. Tom Stout, the president of the Hitch House, is going to be here talking to us in just a few minutes' time. Let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about Barrie Allison. How about 2 degrees? That's what we're looking at right now when we take a look around the region. Newmarket holding steady at 3 degrees. And how about one more? Owen Sound, our friends in Owen Sound, 3 degrees in Owen Sound. That's the temperature as we speak. And let's continue on right now as we take a look. This is the almanac, right? Yes, let's talk about the almanac. And 2 degrees right now as far as the almanac goes. And normally sitting at about 13, 27.2 degrees way back in 1866. That's before we were even a country, if I'm not mistaken. And record low, minus 8.3 in 1897. Okay, we were the Dominion of Canada by that point. So record high, record low. 6:24, it's up. 8:10, it's down. 13 hours and 45 minutes of daylight for us to enjoy. Roll that forecast radar for me, would you please, Sully? Sully in charge this evening, and there it is, the forecast radar. And oh, what an evening. And what kind of action is that, you say? Well, that's the flurry activity that I spoke to. The northern part of our viewing area getting a few flurries. Okay, let's unpack the whole weather story. And here we go. This is a look at tonight and tomorrow on the southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe. Overnight temperature settling in -4, -5. Increasing cloud cover, but still a gorgeous South Georgian Bay sunset for us to enjoy. It's lovely out here. I'm looking across blue skies here at the Hitch House, just up Yonge Street. And 10 degrees for tomorrow. Sun and cloud mix. Winds we're gusting out of the south. 20 to 40 km is what we can expect. How about Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, -4 overnight. Clearing skies, the southern portion of our viewing area. And then for tomorrow, 8 and 9 degrees, sun and cloud. And okay, there is a 30% chance, Environment Canada said a 30% chance of some flurry activity this evening. I think it's 30% chance of some shower activity this evening. We're looking at 8 and 9 degrees. However, when we get to Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Haliburton, well, we're looking at something different, and it's entirely different. -12 with the wind chill, and there is some flurries coming down this evening as per the forecast, and increasing cloud cover. No set accumulation, but -12 with the wind chill. And then 10, make that 6, 8, 9, and 10 degrees. 10 being the hot spot in Parry Sound tomorrow. Cloudy and a couple of flurries. Yeah, they're not sticking around. They're coming down and they're just melting right away. And we're hoping that that's the same situation in a long-range forecast. What long-range forecast? The Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast. That's where we'll find more sunshine and 20 degrees. Yes, I won't get ahead of myself. Let's talk about Simcoe County. 5-day extended forecast. Sunshine on Wednesday and 15, but we can do better than that. Thursday looks like sunshine and 20 gorgeous degrees. Heading into the weekend, fair skies, 40% chance of a shower or two. I almost said flurry. A shower or two, 16 degrees, 14 on Saturday. Cloudy skies and 40% chance of some shower activity. This is York Region 5-day extended forecast. Wednesday, Thursday, lovely, 16, 17, plenty of sun. Wednesday, make that Friday, because I'm learning the days of the week as we go through this. Sun and cloud on Friday and a slight chance of a shower, 16, 14 on Saturday, and still a slight chance of some shower activity under cloudy skies. Muskoka, Parry Sound, Haliburton, Wednesday, Thursday, everybody gets sunshine, 15, 18 degrees. Lovely. Friday, Saturday, heading into the weekend. Friday looks sun, cloud, fair skies, 30% chance of a shower, 17 and 15 degrees, and cloudy skies, 40% chance of a shower coming down. We're inside, although it's just lovely outside too, but we're inside the lovely Hitch House. And joining us right now is Tom Stote, president of the Hitch House. And Tom, I thank you for inviting us here, and thank you for letting me play. I promise I didn't break anything yet. Thank you very much. Top of mind, I mean, all kinds of beautiful vehicles here, all kinds of recreational possibilities, but top of mind, gas prices. And it's got to be on everybody's mind. And how is that affecting the business and the consumers?
Well, Casey, in 57 years we've been in business, we've seen gas prices fluctuate a lot, right? And it goes through the same pattern every time. There's an initial shock, and everybody has a big gasp. Then they come to the realization that, well, wait a minute, I'm not using this like my car. I'm using this for a life experience. I'm going to go traveling. I'm going to go to a destination. And really, it's the difference between what the fuel was and what it is now. So let's say that jump is 25 cents a liter. It's 400 liters to go to the East Coast. It's $100 difference. Are you really going to stop doing your traveling for $100? I don't think so. Absolutely, particularly when you're traveling with such gorgeous accommodation. Over the last year, second question, over the last year, Canada-U.S. relations, well, they've been kind of strained. There's no doubt about that. Has that affected business at all? Well, I think every Canadian has friends or family or both in the U.S., and the Canadians are just looking at, we're not so happy with the U.S. policies at the moment, right? But they're traveling more in Canada. They're going, yeah. So they're learning more about their own country. They're going into into little towns and villages that they'd bypassed before. So there's some really good benefits to that. But we're also seeing that people are using it longer into the season. So last year, when our storage customers were normally returning at Thanksgiving, now it was November. Right, so they're getting more out of their RV in Canada. Keeping it home. I love that, staying home. Last question for you. I mean, I'm a weather guy. I'm a weather guy for 24 years. I've talked a lot about weather. This year in particular, I mean, the storms, certainly recently we've had a whole lot of rain and floods. And tell me, as far as weather goes, drawbacks, benefits, does it impact you at all as far as RVing? Well, there's lots of opportunities for people to protect their coaches, right? And we advise them to do that. So there's products on the market where they can go, you know, you get a storm, you get power surges, or you go to a campground, you got unclean power, you got reverse polarity, something's happened, right? So there's products that you can put between your coach and that power supply to protect that coach. So those are available. The other big one is the water supply issues that you've seen recently, right, with all the water advisories. There's actually really good water treatment products available, so that water goes into your coach clean, right? There's even some that you can literally take the hose, drop in a pond, pull it in, and it treats it perfectly. Excellent advice, excellent. Affordability, keep it home. Tom Stote, thank you very much. Thank you. The Hitch House is a fantastic place to be, and Sarah, as Tom has stated, and we've been looking at some of these ones behind that are entirely compact but comfortable. Keep it home this summer, and all kinds of great affordable advice to do a little RVing. Wouldn't you agree?
There is a new prescription for nature called PARX, or Parks, and it gives healthcare professionals the option to refer patients to time outdoors, and the guides to take them through their journey through nature are found right across the country, and that includes right here in Barrie. Joining me now is Parks Connector Beth Foster. I've just been loving chatting with you. So great to have you here today.
I'm thrilled to be here, Sarah, and I love talking about parks connectors and forest bathing.
I can tell. Let's talk a little bit about the program for those that aren't familiar.
Parks Connectors, it's a brand new program, so I'd be amazed if many people had heard about it. It only launched in March. Parks Connectors is part of Parks Prescriptions, PARX Prescriptions. That's Canada's national prescription-based, evidence-based prescription program. It was launched in 2020. Since 2020, there's right across Canada, there have been more than 20,000 health professionals who've signed up to write green prescriptions for their patients because they get healthier. And they've written more than 1 million prescriptions. But the gap they discovered was that people were getting written prescriptions and they didn't know what to do. So that's where the Parks Connector program came in.
So what you're saying is that saying when our parents used to tell us, go outside, a little fresh air will do you good, that's actually been proven. So what do you introduce people to?
I introduce people to slow, mindful time in the woods, connecting with nature through all their senses. I offer invitations, so there's nothing harsh about it. We walk really slowly. But a key part is disconnection from technology. These days, we really need to be off our screens. People sometimes ask, can I just go in the woods and scroll at a picnic bench? Doesn't work as well. You need to be invited to, a great example, here's a little piece of cedar. If we were out on a walk, I might invite you to touch it, to feel it, to see what it feels like, and then to smell it.
Well, and you are the Beth behind Forest Bathing with Beth. What is Forest Bathing?
That's my small business, which I started in 2018. And since then, I've been guiding for City of Barrie, lots of private clients, corporate clients like Mazda, health-based institutions like Scandinav Spa, places where people see connections between nature and well-being.
We've got one coming up on Wednesday in Oro-Medonte. What's going to happen there, Beth?
Oh, it's just going to be so great. It's in the Copeland Forest, which many of your guests will know. I will be guiding people for an introductory forest bathing walk. We'll just walk slowly, we'll smell stuff, we'll lean against the trees, we'll listen to the birds. And it's not fast, it's not far. It's an easy way to be safely in the forest.
And same thing on Friday. Is this free for everyone on Friday?
Yes, Friday, City of Barrie. City of Barrie has sponsored it. Township of Oro-Medonte sponsored the Wednesday one, which is why it's free for clients. And the City of Barrie is doing it again because it's Earth Week. And this is a really great week to celebrate time outdoors.
Well, and we have simply scratched the surface of all of the different outdoor things that we'll be doing as we head into spring. Beth, thank you so much for coming and starting us off. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Now,
I hope you get some time in the woods.
Yes, me too. Perhaps we'll have to take CTV Barrie out on the road. Let's bring up the website because Beth has mentioned a number of things here, not only parks prescriptions, but also those walks that are upcoming. We've got an article online that you can look into for more details. ctvnews.ca/Barrie. Yes, our digital team has a lot of great information on the website. On the other side of the break, though, here on CTV, why Canada's inflation rate, it keeps on climbing. We'll have details behind the largest gas price increase on record. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. Please do stay with us. Recapping our top stories, flooding continues across much of the region, including Moon River in Bala, up Highway 11 in Gravenhurst. Lake Muskoka is coming up over the docks at the Muskoka Wharf. In Bracebridge, the town still has 2 closed roads, and in Huntsville, downtown property owners are being encouraged to prepare. More details on specifics found on our website. Minden Hills is under a state of emergency due to severe flooding at this hour as well. The township says people have filled and picked up more than 25,000 sandbags since spring flooding began. Officials are advising seasonal residents to postpone their visit until conditions improve. And from life-saving emergencies to team-based medical training, Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre is bringing learning to life with the opening of a new learning centre, a key tool when recruiting future nurses and doctors. The opening of this centre is part of RVH's 10-year plan to evolve into a teaching and science hospital. In business news, Canada's inflation rate rose to 2.4% in March because of the rising fuel prices triggered by the war in the Middle East. Statistics Canada reports gas prices jumped 21.2% last month. That's the largest increase on record. Food prices also climbed 4.4%, with fresh vegetables up 7.8%. Meanwhile, shipping traffic remains at a virtual standstill in the Strait of Hormuz. The latest ship tracking data shows just 3 crossings through the strait in the span of 12 hours. Let's take a look at how this is impacting Canada's stock markets to start off our week. The TSX was up 13 points, the Dow was down 4, and the Nasdaq was down 64. In commodities, oil was up, closing at $87.42 a barrel. Gold was down, finishing at $4,828 an ounce, and our dollar was up, ending the day at 73.28 cents US. Coming up next here on CTV Barrie, knitting a notch into history. With needles in hand, this Blue Jays fan is solidifying her place one ball of yarn at a time. Her story coming up next. Here's a look at your Monday night primetime lineup. Back-to-back episodes of Suits starting at 8, followed by Criminal Minds at 10 p.m. and CTV News Barrie at 11. Thanks for staying with us. Last year's World Series appearance ensures the Toronto Blue Jays a permanent place in baseball history, and one of the team's most dedicated fans has secured her place in Canadian history thanks to her passion for knitting. CTV's Heather Butts explains.
I don't know why it's making me cry.
An emotional reunion for Carla Courtney and her original Blue Jays sweater.
Can I hug it? Am I allowed to touch it now that it's in a museum?
Part of a knitting passion project dedicated to her beloved team has turned into a piece of sports memorabilia woven into Canadian history.
Even if I was dreaming of something that would happen as a knitter and baseball fan with these things colliding, not even in my wildest dreams would I think that something I've made would be in this type of institution.
Her sweater, now part of the nation's largest sports collection at the Canadian Museum of History.
We think sports can tell great stories about Canada, Canadian identity. This seemed like a way to go beyond just the record books or the stats and really talk about how sport is lived in the country.
And this series is underway with a swing and a ground ball that's fair.
Courtney started the playoff sweater when the Toronto Blue Jays entered the postseason last year. Only knitting on game days, the garment and a remarkable story of sports' power to unite took shape.
This is a wonderful way to sort of remember the spirit and passion and excitement that was behind this team during this incredible playoff run.
The lifelong Jays fan lives in the UK but returned home to Toronto last fall to catch her team in person. The sweater was even kissed by manager John Schneider, just one of 15 games worth of memories stained into its colors.
That's when Barger hit the grand slam. I dropped it in Nathan Phillips Square, the yarn itself, and then it got knit into the sweater. I left this unfinished because they lost, so I knit this during Game 7, just this cuff. And when they didn't win, I just thought, well, it's not finished, so I left it.
Her journey with the Jays started at age 7 when her grandmother taught her to knit during summers in Newfoundland.
I would knit and we'd watch the baseball games.
Courtney is back in Toronto to help fans throw themselves into a new season and to celebrate the sweater's success and honor the woman who helped get her here.
What would your grandmother think of all this? Oh, you're going to make me cry now, honestly. My grandma would be so proud, honestly. My grandma's the reason I do a lot of what I do.
That includes inspiring her new Jays sweater featuring Canadian yarn. Created by Briggs & Little in New Brunswick, the same facility where her grandmother would send her fleece to be spun into yarn decades ago. They've now created a special Blue Jays color to honor this story and help inspire fans with their own creations.
I'm happy the sweater gets to live here. It's a Canadian sweater, it's a Canadian story, and now it's kind of in the heart of Canada, I guess.
A full circle moment that could be considered a grand slam. Heather Butts, CTV News, Toronto.
Time now to see if tomorrow morning's forecast is a grand slam case.
As mentioned, of course, we're here at the Hitch House, and I don't know why I'm drawn to that one over there, that particular RV. Something about the name. Let's talk about first thing tomorrow morning. We're, of course, dealing with indoor RVs, but indoors not a bad place to be first thing tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Let's have a look at what the conditions are and some of the temperatures. And we're looking at Barrie being cloudy skies and -2 to start things off. As we zip down to Newmarket, mainly cloudy skies and -3 at 7 o'clock in the morning. And, well, some flurry activity at 7 o'clock in the morning in Gravenhurst and -3, Sarah. So have yourself a warm evening. Good advice. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Case. Good to have you back. And thank you to everyone at home for starting your work week with us. I'm Sarah Freemark. Mike Lang will wrap things up tonight for us at 11. Have a fabulous evening.